Welcome right to this JMC 2022 Virtual Regional Workshop. Glad to have you with us. My name is Paul Freed. I'm here with Jake Van Scoy, and we are going to be the ones that are guiding you through this regional workshop. In the previous years, we've done them in person. Last year we did it virtually. This year we're doing it virtually as well. Hopefully do them in person next year, come to different regions of the Midwest and be able to do these. But I'm happy to do this now and show off a great new feature and also one that's underutilized, which is the admin dashboard. So we have a tool that can unite your school community. JMC has a new module for your district, community and families, that will rally everyone together to support a student's educational career. It's just one of the ways we are helping schools, families, and the community do what matters most, support student success. So today's goals. Our goal for today's session is to share with you the setup and implementation steps of JMC's General Store Scheduler so you can plan for the implementation in the fall of 2022-2023 school year. Here's what's on deck. It's what's going to be a good ride here for the next hour. So we have an introduction to JMC's General Store, setting up the General Store, and items to sell in the General Store, creating a new General Store account, reviewing purchases from the General Store and JMC office, looking ahead at the General Store, and admin dashboard tools and JMC news and upcoming events. All right, here we go. Please hold all of your questions until the Q&A session at the end of each section. If you do need to communicate with the host, feel free to use the Q&A chat feature in your webinar toolbar. All right, JMC's General Store. An introduction to JMC's General Store. Move over Amazon. Here comes JMC's General Store. Office professionals, athletic directors, families, and the entire community will love this module. Now community members can access your General Store to purchase items such as school apparel, event tickets, or any item you choose to make available for purchase in the office. Don't worry, your existing families can use their existing JMC family credentials to log in and purchase from the store as well. So now community members can access your General Store to purchase items such as school apparel, event tickets, or any item you choose to make available for purchase in the office, such as community ed and field trip fees, yearbooks, event and activity day tickets, school pride items such as sweatshirts, mugs, notebooks, bags, activity day events, fundraiser donations, and more. Once upon a time, you might have distributed paper and pencil order forms to your students and hoped they receive them in time for the big game, in a legible form with the money attached, of course. With JMC Office, you can set up items for sale, create an inventory of products, make those products available for online purchase, and then review all orders. So we tried to make the sign up the General Store a snap. It's actually not that hard, but it's a new type of a feature for you. And so we've got some great instructions for you. In JMC Office, you have the power and flexibility to manage the items for sale through your school. Create item descriptions complete with photos and sizing options available for community members to view and select. Set prices for each item and link the bank account that will handle the transaction. Categorize each item by department, such as student council, school musical, or football, to efficiently keep track of items purchased and payments made through the General Store. Community members will love having all the school's purchasable items available at their fingertips. Click through the General Store portal on your school JMC login page and browse through all the items available for purchase. No sign-in necessary. Click the picture of the item, select the quantity sizes or other options, and set up your account. Already a JMC user, you can sign in with your existing JMC account, make purchases using a credit card, and save your account information for easy use on future purchases. So we can also use it as a fundraising tool, which we think, we're just now, even as the internal team, thinking out like, what are different ways this great online store can be used? So JMC's online General Store is the perfect fundraising tool. Groups within your school will be able to set up and manage fundraising efforts by adding items to sell in the General Store and reviewing sales. And you could also think of it as a learning opportunity. The General Store could also be a wonderful learning opportunity for business marketing and accounting classes. Put your business teacher in charge of managing the online store and give your students real-world experience in online marketing and sales. So this is just one of the ideas I think that Jake had come up with. Like, once you have this new tool available for you, what are the different ways that you can do it? I have a couple ideas that I'll share as we go through the presentation as well. So the first thing to know is like, this is something we'll be releasing this summer. I'm thinking I believe August is a release date. I know our team is still working on it. We're testing it and all those kinds of things as well. So what I'm showing you here is kind of our first iteration at the General Store. I'm going to walk you through those steps again so you can plan ahead and think, all right, how can we use these different parts of the General Store? Here we go. Our one-stop shop. Wouldn't it be great if there was an easier way to sell items to families and the public through the paper than through paper order forms and paper checks? Introducing JMC's General Store, complete with configurable item prices, sizes, pricing, inventory tracking, and online credit card payments. The General Store is a fantastic way to sell the items you already sell and maybe some new ones too. So again, you can't do this yet, right? So I'm just again explaining these topics to you so you can see and plan ahead of what you will do. So setting up the store for selling requires a few basic steps of creating item categories and attributes. Head to General Store in the JMC office to begin. Again, you won't see the General Store yet. This will be something that will be appearing this summer. Step one, it's an easy turn on, just like we have in different parts of JMC. You'll place a check mark in the allow users to enter the General Store checkbox for the quick settings to allow users to enter the store. Step two, select the online payments bank account to use for General Store payments using the choose the bank account all General Store purchases will go to in the drop down list. Now, currently in JMC, you've got a lunch account and a tuition and fees account. I know in the future, I don't know what the release date. I think it's going to coincide with this, but I'm not sure. There'll be a third bank account where those items could go into so you could track that information, have that money go to that different account. Step three, enter the message you'd like families and the publics to see when entering the General Store in the displayed message field. Fun fact, you can add a little pizzazz to your message using the formatting tools. Font, weight, size, the sky's the limit, even insert a link by using the globe icon. Step four, click the save button to save your general settings. Step five, click the item settings tab here. That's this one right up here. So see in the General Store here, we've got these different tabs so we can keep it all in one page for you, right? The general settings, how do we set that up? Then the item settings here overall. That's gonna be for the different items that you're doing. Here's where we're tracking inventory and the activity. So when we're on that item settings page here, we can start to add in item categories and attributes. So step six is you'll click to expand here the item category settings tab there, and that will show you the information that we have listed there. Step seven, click the displayed checkbox to add a new category to the store. Helpful tip, a category is a group to hold similar items in your school store, like clothing, tickets, or donations, to name a few, right? So we want to, just like the tuition and fees, right, where we now have these different, gosh, I can't even think, it's not, is it categories there? It's different groupings there, but it's a way that you can have the different groups of items listed there for you. So if you're going to do some, that would be like clothing sales and like, donations, like they're saying there, then it will just help you to organize those items in your mind. Step eight, and in JMC, of course, enter the category name in the name field and a brief explanation in the description field here as well. So we've got event tickets here, and these are tickets to the spring play. Step nine, click the save button to save your new category, or click the cancel button to discard your changes. Step 10, click the expand attribute settings link. It's right down here to view all attributes or to define a new one. Now, here's a helpful tip, and this is going to be very helpful moving forward. Attributes are variations of item, such as size, style, and color are all examples of attributes that describe an item. So you can attach up to 2 attributes per item to add additional detail to your item. So step 11, you can click the Add Attributes button to create a new attribute. Step 12, enter the name for your attribute in the name to easily identify it. Again, so we've got it, the category name up here would be school tickets, right? And what's the name here? A spring play. So those are the tickets that are listed there as well. Then step 13 is enter a feature of your attribute in the feature field, right? So features of an attribute are those characteristics that differentiate the attribute, For example, small, hooded, red, the sky's limit. This could be lower, here in Lake City, we've got 2 levels for tickets. And so we did the fall play just recently. My daughter was in it. She did a great job. Having trouble. Oh, it was called Murders in the Air, right? Maybe one feature or one attribute could be lower level seating. One attribute could be upper level seating, whatever that might be. Again, once you get into it, you'll be able to kind of think about how that works for you. Step 14, click the save button to save your new attributes and features, or click the cancel button to discard your changes. All right, the floor is yours. It's time for a little Q&A. Any questions about about how that idea there that you're going to come in and you'll add in, I'm just going back here, you'll come in here and add in those items here. These are event tickets there, whatever that might be. And then once you add them in, you can add these different attributes in here. Here we've got Beauty and the Beast, but it'll allow you to be able to put those in there so people can not only choose that item, but choose specifics about that particular item there. So any questions about that? Let's take a live look at sign up and then people can ask questions if they've got some in here as well. So I'm coming here again. I'm using one of our test databases here. So you won't be able to see this in your database because we are just showing an example of what it's going to look like here. It's under the general store here. It's just a one stop there for you under that general store here. Here's that general store. You come in here, you can allow users to enter the general store here. You can choose the bank account here. In the future, we'll have a third bank account for all that money to go in there as well. And I've got in here just welcome to the general store, whatever you want there, and you can click save. All there is to it. Then they come here to item settings here, come and choose that category. I've got some in here. I've got clothing items, event tickets, and the football here, all things football, whatever it might be. You can go ahead, add categories or edit that category as you want to. And then we've got the attributes here as well. So if I come in here, I can click edit and the attribute can be size. And I've got extra large, large, small, medium, whatever that might be there as well. And I can save or cancel that. I'll cancel that. If I want to come here to a shirt, here's my shirt. It can be hooded, right? Lots of different ways you can add those attributes in there. So, again, I always tell folks, it's just like online registration or the new family registration, right? We're using new terminology for folks that you will very quickly become comfortable with as you go through it. The first you're like, okay, well, it's a category, it's an attribute. Once you get into it though, it should be pretty darn easy. So Jake, any questions in there? Or should we keep on rolling?
I'd say you're good to keep on trucking.
All right, here we go. Adding items to sell in the general store. JMC's General Store allows you to list items for sale in your school's online store to drive revenue for your school programs. Add as many items as you wish and include a picture, description, size options, and prices to take them from meh to wow. Let's get those items added into the store so those orders start rolling in. Get started by going to the general store's inventory tab to add items to sell. Step 1, select a category for a new item to sell using the category drop-down list there as well. Helpful tip, at least one category must be entered before you're able to add an item to sell. So you have to do the previous steps we talked about before you can start adding inventory in. Step 2, place a check mark in the displayed checkbox to define a new item for sale. Step 3, enter the item name in the name field. And step 4, select the first attribute using the first attribute drop-down list. And those attributes, right, are going to populate right from the other one there. Fun fact, a pop-up will display allowing you to set a price. Step 5, enter the price in the price field. Step 6, click the save button to save your new item or click the cancel button to discard your changes there. Step 7, optional, select a secondary attribute using the second attribute drop-down list. Step 8, optional, upload a photo of the item for users to view by clicking the upload photo button. I'm a big fan of the photo, just like when you go to Amazon or where it might be, the photo there helps people describe what it is, but I think it'll help you to sell more products as well. Step 9, enter the total number of items available for purchase in the total available field. Step 10, enter a description in the description field to add more detail about the item. Now we got the best seats in the house, right? You can do whatever you want there, again, upper or lower. And step 11, click the save button to enter your new item for sale or click cancel button to exit. Okay, so let's take a live look and then I'll get back to that question part there. I think sometimes the live look can help to generate some questions we have there. And you've used this a little bit more than me, Jake. So if you have ideas or little tips for me as we go through, let me know. So here's the inventory there. And so you sure could add an item into sell. I actually added this one in and I like it here. It's the sweatshirt, the blue school hoodie, kind of the easiest one for me to work with there as well. I checked the display there, right? I named it. It's a sweatshirt. I put blue school, it's got the school name there as well. What's the category, right? You'll note that these are the categories we had from before: clothing items, event tickets, or football. This is a clothing item. What's the attribute, right? Here's the size that we have listed there. And then I don't have a second attribute listed right there. And I can put the price by clicking change price in here. Allows me to say, what's the extra large price? What's a large? What's a medium? What's a small? And if you don't have a price in there, right, you don't need to put, so it says, please enter a price for the specific feature, or an X if you don't want that specific feature to be seen when users are making purchases. So if you're like, hey, we don't have an extra small price, you can put an X in there, okay? And that will then put that item that's listed there as well. So it won't even be available for them to see. You put the total number available, 25 there, and a little description. High quality blue Lake City sweatshirt there, and you can click save, and that will save that item there. And you can see I have lots of different items here. If I want to switch from one clothing item here to event tickets, right, I can see the event tickets there. I don't know if I've got any under football here. Here we go. You've got a shirt there for football. So again, you can see how instead of having like one category said items for sale, to be really helpful for you to have those different categories that are listed there. Keeps everything organized. So when you come through, the people can see, you as a user, excuse me, can see which items fall under which category that you have listed right there. Now you'll see here, one thing that I had there, and this came up actually from one of our internal trainings, Jake, is you could pre-order sales, right? Maybe or maybe even pre-order shirts as well. I had the Homer hanky here, right, from the old Minnesota Twins back in the day, that maybe you don't even know how many you want to order. So you come in here and you put an item in here. You have 1,000 of them. I think I put the price in as 0, meaning that people could just go in and pre-order them. And then when they come to the school, they could pay cash for them or a check or whatever it might be. Again, if you don't have to do that, right? It's just an idea of how you might want to be able to use those things there. But we're trying to think of creative ways to do that. And Lois, one of our clients or a specialist, said, they're a smaller school that she worked at. She said, we wanted to find a way to pre-order things. And once they're pre-order, we could order them and then families would pay for them. I think that's a great way to do it, right? Let them pre-order and then they can come in and just pay for it with a check or whatever it might be there. So lots of differentiation, different ways you can use to just collect information from people, collect payment from people, and then get the products to the folks there as well. Great. So take a moment to do some questions here, and then I'll give people a moment to see if they have any that they want to type in here. But Jake, the sky's the limit, right? They can do anything that they want, any item that they want. We immediately gravitate to tickets, swag, right? But it could be anything.
Yeah, just like every tool in JMC, it's versatile enough to meet the needs of the client. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is you need it to do, I feel like you can do that, especially with the general store. So we did have one question that came through. Tulsa asked, we have a school store set up through an outside vendor. Is there a spot to put a URL for that store here?
You sure could, right? I mean, in that general store, right, when you set up your general settings here, they could put that right there and they could link out to something else here as well. But, to be straightforward, right, that we're looking to do those things through JMC, but maybe it's something, right, that you couldn't even do through JMC. I don't know what that is, but maybe they're buying curriculum or I don't know what it might be.
Yeah,
You could link out here.
if I had to guess, I would say a lot of folks might use like a third-party vendor, especially if they're doing some sort of fundraising. So they might, you could potentially use the general store to collect pre-order information. I mean, a lot of that stuff is utilized by the link through those third-party vendors, and kind of like what Paul was saying, I think this is kind of an avenue to try to get away from that. So yeah, it would just be a matter of maybe using Message Center or something like that to share that link. So
yeah, and maybe they do a fundraiser, right, Jake, like banned fruit sales, right, or something like that. That it goes to other vendor and the stuff is put right there. That would be an example. Like we do banned fruit here. Like this school isn't taking the payments directly, but they're going to somebody else. You could come in here and you could just put that link down here, like welcome to the general store. You can click the link, or to order banned fruit this week, this year, click the link below and that could take them to that site. So lots of different things there.
absolutely.
Cool. Any other questions there?
Yeah, actually, Jennifer just added or school pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So possible usage for
yeah,
the
absolutely.
store.
And I wasn't trying to like downplay that idea, but I like that, right? The general store can be the one-stop shop, right, for people, all things purchases and things like that. So great job, Jennifer. Gold star for you today. And Tulsa too. Great. Anything else, Jake?
I think that's it for now.
Great. We'll keep on rolling. All right, creating a new general store account. A general store account gets you access to purchasing items from the school store. Creating an account is as easy as choosing your user type and then entering a few pieces of information, such as a username and a password. Once you create an account, you'll never have to do it again. So let's get your account created. So the idea here is that families will be able to come to the general store who are not in your school, because families who are already in your school, they will be able to use their existing JMC username and password. But this is somebody, aunts, uncles, somebody who's in the community who wants to set up that store. So what'll happen is when they come to your general store, they'll come in here and say, they'll specify what type of general store account they'd like to set up. Are they a new general store user, or they're a user with a JMC family account there, right? And the idea being that your users who are in your school know, oh, I already use the JMC family. Or if they're a person, again, doesn't have a connection to your school whatsoever, they'd be a new general store user. So, are you a member of the local community and want to show your pride but need an account? No problem. Create your general store account with minimal information and get ready to show your community spirit. So once they come here and they click to say, I want to add a new user, they'll click that new general store user button to enter their personal information. Step 2, you'll enter their first name and last name, email address, password in the appropriate fields here. They need to create a password for your account in the password field there as well. And I think they need a phone number as well, and for sure an email, right? They need all those things so that legally they can send a receipt and all those kinds of things. And they'll also have in here what the password length is there as well. The password strength indicator will show how strong your new password is to ensure your account is secure. So we want to make sure, of course, that it's good or great or whatever it might be there. When setting your password, it must meet your district's minimum password criteria. Your district sets that password criteria. Step 4, click the submit button to create your general store account, or the back button to return to the previous page. Helpful tip. Click the OK button to acknowledge your new account. So once you click submit, it'll bring a pop-up and say, hey, you're ready to go, something like that, and you'll click OK. So really easy to do here. So let's take a live look. I was actually logged in here, so I'll have to log out of the general store here. Oh, I'm not logged. Here we go. If I log in, see, I've already got mine in here as well. I don't think I'm going to be able to show. If I go sign up here, this is the thing I was trying to see there. There we go. I can come in here as a new general store user. First name, we'll go in here, Sarah. Last name, Freed. Password, maybe. There we go. Don't remember what I put in there. I better make it something I can remember. There we go. What's my email address? We'll put in here Sarah. She's gonna get a nice email here at jmcinc.com, and phone number 651-345-4654. And then they'll submit that. Oh, I already put that person in. Either way, I don't need to show it, folks. This is how easy it is. It'll come in, it'll bring that person up, it'll click OK, and that's all there is to it. So anybody can come in, create their user information. They don't need to contact the school. You can just have this link available for you at your school, on your school site. Somebody wants to purchase things, you can email it out, make it available. And now's the time for questions. You want to put them in. We were thinking, Jake, maybe it was you and I or somebody else, like how to promote this, and you sure can force email people who are in your school. You can email former primary contacts. But also maybe putting something in the school's newspaper, right? And saying, hey, here's the link that you go to at your site. But again, all they gotta do is come in here, just like any online store, put in their contact information, submit that, and then they're good to go. So I'm not gonna put a new user in because this one is just pretty darn straightforward. We want to make it as easy as possible there.
Yeah, Paul, the no questions at the time, but the only thing that I would add is that this is just another way that JMC helps foster better school community collaboration. And a lot of folks, a lot of schools have been talking about, how do we reach out to our community? How do we help them become more involved and bring this together as one big school community? I believe modules just like this can go a long way as to opening that avenue. So.
Absolutely. And I think that, every school, whether it's a private school or public school, looks for funding from the community. And a lot of times those people in the community don't realize anything that's going on in the school, right? Or have trouble being connected. Well, this is a way to connect it. So if you can let most people in your community know that, hey, you can get a Lake City High School sweatshirt, whether you have a student at the school or not. That's a touch point. That's a way of saying, hey, this thing that we're doing, or here's how you get school tickets or whatever might be there. So um, we think it's a way to reach out and connect with folks who don't necessarily have connection to the school, that promotes collaboration, that will benefit the school, not just beyond the few dollars you might make from the fundraiser or selling a t-shirt, but helps to bring the school together. So great point there.
Yeah, I love the fact that the folks do not necessarily need to be in your database already. You know, these are completely outside of your district, folks that might not necessarily be in your walls. So
they don't have to be in your state. I mean, you've got grandparents that live in California and they want you to ship them a sweatshirt or whatever it might be, or buy one for their kids. That's what I was also thinking too. Like, buy a sweatshirt for your kid at the school. Like, how cool would that be?
Jennifer's teeing this one up for you, Paul. Could this be used as a fundraising tool? For example, could someone could sponsor what it costs to buy a Tang item, like a uniform shirt for a student?
Absolutely, they could. They sure could. When they purchase that item, they could do it. So that's what I was saying. Anybody from outstate could even go in and be able to purchase those items there for somebody to be used in the store or used at the school, whatever. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm not sure what a Tang item is. My brain immediately went to that old soft drink that they made for spacemen back in the day.
Yeah, we thought that was pretty cool when I was a kid too.
Oh, tangible, she says. Okay.
Tangible. Got to stay up with the lingo there, Jake.
My bad. Sorry, that's Jennifer.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Jennifer's cool. Jennifer's already, she's going to post this stuff on her Twitter account, and help us keep all up to date. Great. All right. Anything else, Jake?
Nothing other than Jennifer said letters got cut off. I'm not that cool. Nonsense, Jennifer. We think you're cool.
We think you're cool, Jennifer. All right, here we go. Purchasing items in the general store. So shirt sales, hat sales, ticket sales, oh my. JMC offers a place where your community can go to show their support for your school by purchasing gear or anything else you might run community orders for. Once JMC office users have set up their purchasable items for the general store, any community member can access and browse the store through the general store portal. So the general store is located in your district's JMC site. Click the icon to enter the store and start purchasing items today. Step 1, click an item to view its details and to purchase. Step 2, specify the quantity you'd like to purchase from the amount to purchase drop-down list and select the displayed attributes. Step 3, click the add to cart button to add the item to your cart. Step 4, click the OK button to confirm on the confirmation pop-up. Then step 5, click the cart link to pay for your items. And step 6, click the checkout button to pay for the items in your cart after viewing the item. Step 7, click the OK button to log into your general store account. Then once you've done that, so you put all the items in there, you're going to log into your general store. You'll enter of course, your credit card information like we have here. So you'll need the online credit cards portal in JMC, and then enter all the information in there. Jake, do you want to rattle off your credit card information so I can throw it in here real quick, or should I just keep rolling?
879-312-4444.
I appreciate that.
Just don't try to use that.
That's right. Then enter a note for your school's office team in the comments box. And I really like this because this is where you could say, hey, I bought this sweatshirt for so-and-so, right? Or whatever that comment might be. So if somebody wanted to buy something for somebody else, they could put that information there. So helpful tip, would you like a confirmation of your order? Upon successfully completing your purchase, a message will pop up thanking you for your purchase. A receipt, that's a fun fact, a receipt for the transaction will be emailed to your email address here. Now, I was logged in here. Let's see if I can log. Well, actually, we'll come back here to the general store. So I'm going to come in here. Here's the general store right there. I can come in here to the store. I'm going to see the items here. I've got 3 items that I can purchase here. I can come in and say, all right, what do I want to see here? I want one of these right here. I'm going to purchase this. This is my sweatshirt here, just like we have in the JMC office. Here's the sweatshirt, blue school with hoodie, price $25. Hi, what's the amount to purchase? I want to purchase one, and it's going to be large. You'll see there's no extra small because that's where I put that X in there, right? So it wouldn't be available. So there's the large, add to cart. There we go. Add to my cart there. And then here we go. Here's a pre-order, state champ girls soccer shirts, right? $25 there. I'll put in there. It's going to be 3. I want 3 of those. I'm going to make them all mediums, all my kids there. I'm going to add that to cart. Of course, I could add different sizes if I want to. I just have to go back in there and add that in there as well. And that's all there is to it. Then what I can do is I can go to my cart here, just like that, and I can check out. And when I check out, I got to log in first. So excuse me. That's one thing there we go. I'll put in my information here. Now, I don't remember, and this is just the credit card part. I think I've got my username and password. I was logged in and I was like, oh, I don't have it in there, Jake, but it's all right. All you're going to do is it's going to come in, you're going to log in. It's going to take you right back to this screen here where you're going to put your credit card information in there. I don't have a credit card information that I'm going to put in there because I'm actually not going to purchase those items, even though I'm pretty confident that the Lake City girls are going to make it to the state high school championship this year. So it's really easy for folks to use. They'll see their cart that's listed here. They've got that total price listed right down here, and then they'll be able to check out. So it's a pretty cool way to be able to manage those things. So let's see if anybody has any questions about this. And as questions come up, I want to emphasize again, I really think that those pictures are going to be helpful in here. I left like a Homer Hank here. I didn't put one in there because like I said, if they're pre-ordering that and the price is zero, maybe you don't want a picture there, but that's when I set this up, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It has the first two letters there, the first two words, but I still think a picture there is going to be helpful because this is a marketing tool. So you want to be able to market those things that are listed there. Great. And it tells me in my cart how many items I have there. So go ahead, Jake. Does any questions that came in?
Yeah. So we had one question come in. Could fees for field trips, lost computers, etc., be paid through this? So, if you want to jump in here on this, Paul, I think I can take a stab at this. The tuition and fees module would probably be best for a lot of that sort of stuff, field trips, lost computers, that sort of thing. The fees that you would be issuing to families, specific families. I think the online, the general store would be best to those items that you're going to open up to your community as a whole, even folks that are not a part of your school.
Yeah, because the thing, I'm actually in my next school year, I'm gonna go back to 21, 22 here, the tuition fees module is to say, hey, and this is a great distinction, right, Jake? Tuition fees modules, you as a school are going in and you're charging students things, their iPad fee, Chromebook rental fee, whatever it might be, because what the tuition fees module allows you to do in particular is to bulk load items, right? Hey, I want to bulk load a charge here of the iPad fee to all the kids in grade 9, and you're going to charge that fee. And then you're going to be able to send out an invoice. Families can go online and pay it through the JMC family portal. So tuition fees is, hey, we're going in, we're charging fees and sending people an invoice for all the things that they owe at once. The general store allows people to come in and without having connection to school, but they can have connection to school too, either way, and purchase items that haven't been assigned to them, right? That's kind of the connection that we have there. Now, you can do some purchasing as well in the tuition and fees module, and you can check that out if you want to in our tuition and fees module instructional video there. But that's kind of how that distinction is that's listed there as well. So the general store, it sure could be used for that, but then you're going to make families go in and purchase iPad fees and things like that as well. Because they can also do that in tuition and fees, I probably would try to keep that in tuition fees. So, if you're a school that's not used tuition and fees and the general store, you probably want to look at the tuition fees module, instructional video and kind of get a handle on that, and then look at the general store as well. Both are easy to set up, but I probably would start with the general store first because, it's kind of like the idea, it's easier to sell things to your customers already, right, Jake? Like instead of trying to garner new customers. So if you've got families who are already logging into the JMC family portal and checking out lunch balances and grades and things like that, use the tuition fees module to let them be charged their other fees and they can pay them online. Then put that time into that general store as well. So, but they definitely go hand in hand.
Yes, I would agree.
Great. Other questions, Jake? Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go.
Great. All right, reviewing purchases from the general store. You've created categories and items to complete with pricing in JMC office. Community members have started ordering merchandise to the general store portal and orders are rolling into your school. JMC has your general store rockin' like Nike.com, and these reports will help you manage it. From delivery status to date they were processed, we've got you covered. So you can view important order information, sort orders, print and export information to CSV files from JMC office by heading to the general store and clicking the activity tab. So activity means things that are being purchased. That's that tab right up here. Step 1, enter the from and to dates in the appropriate fields to view purchases over a specific period of time, or simply click the calendar icon. Step 2, click the edit link next to the order number to edit details about a specific order, such as the delivered status. Step 3, place a check mark in the delivered checkbox to mark the order as delivered. Step 4, click the update link to save changes made to a specific order, or click the cancel link to discard your changes. And step 5, or helpful tip, click the arrow next to an order to view an itemized list of purchase items along with the cost of each item here. All right, step 5, click a column in the grid view to sort purchasing data by one of the following categories. By status, you can sort purchases by the delivery status. By the order number, you can sort purchases by chronological order number there. So each one's automatically listed, order number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not something anybody can set, but you sure can do that. The total cost, you could sort by that. You can say, hey, I want to see who owes the most money, or paid them, actually who paid the most money, because they have to pay it. They can't just charge it, right? They have to go in and pay for it at the same time. A comment, you can sort by comments that are listed there as well, and the transaction date if you want to look at that transaction date there as well. You can also click the username and the account row to view all purchases and totals for that specific user. Fun fact, if a user has multiple orders, all orders will show in this window. So that's pretty sweet there as well. Step 7, click the print button to print a list of orders, or click the Excel icon to export the data to the spreadsheet that's listed there. I don't know if I see, I've not purchased one of this particular item there, but let's take a check and see if there's any activity in there. Yeah, I don't have any in there at this time because mine's not hooked up to a live account there. But in essence, what you're going to see here, and people can put questions in as well, you're going to be able to come in here and see all the items that are purchased, the order numbers, what they purchased, and be able to track that information there as well. So one-stop shop. Who's ordered things today, fulfill those orders, check them as being fulfilled, and go through their husband for the week or whatever that might be, listed there.
So yeah,
Great.
this is when we talked about this last week. Yeah, we don't necessarily have the capability of showing that report. However, this is where if you had folks that were pre-ordering items so that you could try to get a somewhat accurate number before you went ahead and ordered items for sale, I could see this report being a very handy report for that. So other than that, I don't think we have any questions moving forward. So
Great. And then looking ahead at the general store. Here we go. Innovation is still underway on James C. General Store. We're currently adding first ticket purchasing includes an emailed receipt with a QR code for scanning at EventGate. Purchased tickets can be printed or will be available from within the James C. Family app and can be added to the Apple Wallet. Ticket takers will have an app to allow entrance to events just by scanning a QR code, and enhanced reporting to detailed purchases grouped by order number, item, and user as well. Like we said, this is our first iteration. I think this is the iteration we'll have rolling out this fall, and then throughout the year next year, we'll look at adding these other items in here as well. So any other questions about this before we, it's kind of how we're wrapping up and moving on to the admin dashboard tool. So any other questions about this topic or anything else you want to add in, Jake?
Nothing really, other than I think this is a great feature that's going to have all kinds of positive implications for our folks at schools, everything from education to community outreach. So
yeah, the more we can be connected with the wider community, the greater the benefit, right? Because you want stakeholders, and if I was talk frankly, just between us and everybody who's going to watch this video on YouTube, right? Everybody, because they pay taxes, feels like they're a stakeholder when it comes to school decisions. So I see letters in the newspaper about James C. School right here, or Facebook posts, or it might be, right? Well, we want to broaden people's experience of what it means to be a stakeholder at the school. And even though this is purchasing something from the school, if somebody never has an experience with the school, it's easy for them to just have their own ideas. But if they can go on and say, "Oh my gosh, look at all the things they can purchase! Look at all the choir activities that are available, and look at all the play activities that are available." Like this school's got a lot going on. They'll be able to maybe appreciate more all the things that the school does for the local community.
couldn't have said it better myself, Paul.
Well, thanks, Jake. That's why you wrote that for me. That's right. All right, here we go. So now we're going to the admin dashboard tools. At these spring regional conferences, we like to show something that's coming and something that's already here. So this is what I want to talk about, was the admin dashboard tools, because people don't use the admin dashboard enough. If you've never heard of the admin dashboard, you're exactly who I'm talking to. If you're an administrator who uses it every once in a while, you're also who I'm talking to, because it was meant for people who want to see a high-level view of what's going on in the school. The admin dashboard in James C. Office is a report generator that helps users see a high-level view of students, group academic, attendance, behavior, contact information, and more. Users can sort the admin dashboard by any included metric to find students fitting specific criteria, such as excessive absences, high discipline referral count, a high number of missing assignment scores, or low GPA. And this is the important thing, right? We hear from every school, Jake, right? People don't have enough time to search for their own things. This is what the beauty of the admin dashboard is. To get started exploring the admin dashboard, log into JMC Office and head to File, Admin Dashboard here. You can choose which term you want to work with. And I'm going to actually just kind of highlight a few items here, just so you know, Jake, and for crew, because I know I don't want to run out of time. I want to make sure people have questions here as well. So you're going to do the current term, or do you want to do year to date, meaning everything? Then you'll select the parameters. And this is where some of the real power is. You can say, hey, I want students who are a particular grade level here, or a particular student group, or advisor group, teacher group, or activity. Super helpful here. Show me all this information for kids who are playing high school baseball, girls softball, whatever it might be. You can do that really easily right here. Based on your selected criteria, you'll see the student and their data appear in the columns. So I came in here, chose my 10th graders. I have just a small group of 10th graders here, so you can kind of show you. Okay, you're going to see this information that's listed right here for these 10th graders. Then here's a helpful tip. Just like in the general store, and you'll see this in more parts of JMC coming, clicking on a column name will sort the data in different orders. The first click on the column will sort the data in ascending order. The second click will sort the data in descending order. And the third click will reset the list to its original order. Okay, so you can click, say, oh, what's my class rank? Click on this right here, and it's going to list all that class rank listed right there for you. Step 3, you can click on the disclosure triangle here beside a student's name to reveal the student's contact information, right? So again, teachers can do this, right? But now you can say, oh, I've got this kid. He's 15 out of 19 in our class rank here. I want to call his parents and tell him that he's doing a great job or he's really improving. You can click on that. There's the information listed right there. Step 4, you can click email all teachers of the student. So not only can you contact the parent or the primary contacts, the guardians, you can email all the teachers as well. So you can start to see how powerful this tool is. You don't even need to be a JMC wizard to know how to do this. Come in, choose the group, look who we're looking for here, look at their contact information, email all the teachers of the student. The office folks can do this as well on the view student data screen, but here you can do it as well. Then a helpful tip, you can click the blue icon next to a student's name to navigate to the student's student scope page containing detailed attendance, schedule, discipline, health information. So that student scope has been a favorite of administrators for a long time, where they can see that those 6 pieces of information for a student at one time. Step 5 here, optional, click the Excel icon located in the columns to export your information to a CSV file. So you'll also see this icon being used more. We'll be gravitating away from the export button and for some items, and using this Excel to say, hey, you want to export that to a CSV file. All right, step 6, you can click the student settings tab to choose which columns of student information display on the student tab. So it will, the default, have all of them checked. I personally don't like all of them checked, right? I want to this is the next step here, place a check mark in the desired student data checkbox like class rank, advisor, cum GPA. It's because then when I come here, I'm going to go back a screen. I'm not going to see all that information. So for example, I don't want to see their bus number here, or I don't want to see their locker number, because I, as an administrator, don't deal with that. I only want to know what's their class rank, their absences, their total tardies, GPA, and so on and so forth. And then click the update, and that will automatically update your student tab. Okay, let's take a live look at the admin dashboard basics. The other beauty about the admin dashboard is that, oh, actually, I'm going to go into this one right here. This is the database I want to use. Is the admin dashboard, it takes a second to load, just so you know, because it's a lot of times looking at lots of data there as well. But it's not hard to use, right? You can come in here, choose the term you want to work with there, and say, hey, I only want to see, I was saying before, my 10th graders. Now for just my 10th graders, I can see all this information here for all these kids. What's their cum GPA, their class rank, tardies, and so on and so forth. I can come here and say, oh, I want to talk to Alexis here. Click on that right there. There's the information. I can email the teachers, hey, let you know Alexis is going to be sick for a week. She's got the stomach flu, whatever it might be. They're really handy. And I can then sort, like in my 10th graders, which kids have the most number of referrals. Click on it once. It's going to show you descending. Click on it again. It's do the ascending. I don't have any referrals in here. Let's see if I've got any absences in here. I might not. There we go. This kid's got 2 absences and half absence there. But again, you can quickly see in 10th grade, who's struggling with absences, tardies, who's struggling with discipline, who's struggling with missing scores or their GPA. All that information is super easy to do. And just to remind you again, the student settings tab allows me to check and see which items that I want those there. I don't need the lunch balance. I don't need the fee balance, but you sure could add them if you want. Say, hey, well, I want to know what the lunch balance is here. Click lunch balance, click update, come back here. And there's my lunch balance right there for those students listed right there. Again, you can do it for activities. So I want to know, hey, for all my kids for high school baseball, see, I've got 8 kids in here. I don't have any kids in baseball here. I think I have some in chess club. Okay, I guess I don't. It might have been earlier in the term here. Let's do year to date. That's what it's going to be.
Could also maybe change your grade to
Oh yeah, because it looks at all those things. We'll see if I have there. But imagine with me, I can't remember which sport I've been using here for these things here, but it will show you all the kids in that particular activity. And then you can export that if you want, send that to the coach or whatever it might be. So it's a really cool way to do that. And to show you, even though I was trying to show you, but I didn't have a group set up for it, is that it allows you to come in, say, show me all the 10th graders in this activity, or just to choose the activity that you have listed there. So it's a pretty cool way to be able to do that. So any questions on that, Jake?
Yeah, actually, we do have one question coming in, or a couple questions coming in. Can administrators in the same building make different choices as to what is displayed?
I believe so. I believe it's user specific for the student settings page. So I'm logged as my JMC administrator. If I log in another user, I think it would save that for you. Yes.
Wonderful. And for this next one, I can feel your excitement level rising already.
I appreciate that.
This user is brand new to JMC and they are wondering where they can find trainings, like how to add activities.
That's a great question. So there's 2 places you can go. The first place you can go is you can click the icon in the bottom right-hand corner here, and you can say, hey, I want to come and either visit the help center or search for articles here. If you're a new user, I think it's great to just visit the help center. It's going to add it, bring up the articles here, and you can put in here. I would just type in activities, and it's going to tell you how to create student activities in the activity module, editing rosters, all the great information is listed right there. But if you want to hear my voice or Jake's voice or other people's voices as well, you can go to YouTube and search for JMC training and go to our video page, and you can come here and search activities as well. And for darn near every module in JMC, we have a video. So here is spring sports activity. You can go in there and it will show you, it's 40 minutes long, but it'll walk you through all the things you need to do to set up your activity. So use the articles, okay? Use a video. If you need some help, you can also email training@jmcinc.com. Lots of times we can show people where the video is. The reason I like the videos, and I tell people a lot, is just like this training, you're not just hearing one person, you're hearing other people and what their questions are as well.
Absolutely. And then we're working on your clock as well. If you're waiting for us to get back to you, we're pretty prompt with one-to-one trainings, but most of this library of material can get you where you're needing to go. And also we're just wondering what the admission to, or what the cost of the membership to the Paul fan club is. Is there a cost, or?
Well, it's funny. I don't really usually ever watch the show Shark Tank. It's not really my thing, but I happened to watch it when we were in Nebraska last week for a little bit. And they people like to give things away for free, these online memberships, and then start charging people. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. So it's free right now.
I think that's a beautiful business model, actually.
Absolutely. Great. Other questions?
I think we're good.
Awesome. Then the building tab. And I want to respect people's time, so I'm going to kind of go through this quickly, just so you know, Jake, here. The building tab is just kind of that higher level view. So we're on the same page here, right? To start exploring, you can log in the admin dashboard again and click on the building tab. What happens is you're still choosing a grade level here if you want our activity, but it's going to show you right now. I've got everybody that's active here, all the grade levels. What's the average GPA? Who has more than 2 absences, more than 2 absences, more than 4 absences there, and what the attendance is for each grade level there. Because again, administrators want to say, hey, I want to be able to come to a place and see a report, not even have to necessarily run that report that's listed there as well. You can also see GPA data, right? Attendance data, discipline referrals, and communication. So you do this by grade level. So this is why I say, hey, let's see how my ninth graders are doing, right? Let's see how our 10th graders are doing and be able to use that as well. And there's the discipline referrals and communication as well. So we'll see if people have questions. Again, I'm just kind of skimming over this because I think people can start to see how helpful this is, right? So here we go. Here's GPA data for all the grade levels. Here's all the attendance, and here's discipline referrals, communication items, lunch, and tuition fees. And that's helpful overall. But and I like that. But you could also do this again for an activity, or you can say, hey, I want to see again all my 10th graders. Look at all my 10th graders here. It's going to show them for those 10th graders here, what's their average GPA, who has more, less than 2 absences. All right, it's less than 2 absences, or more than 4 absences listed there. What's the attendance here? How many discipline referrals, overall communication, so on. So you can kind of get a feel for how your overall school is doing and a grade level as well. So the reason I don't spend as much time training on this one, just so everybody knows, is that you just set it here and you can see the information that's listed there. It just could not be easier for you. So you want to make sure that you as an office user or administrator come in and just look at each of those tabs. So I'm going to let people type in questions while I go through the automated alerts, Jake, just to do that, because the automated alerts is one of those parts, really powerful tool. We actually just talked to Martinsdale St. Mary's down in South Central Iowa, just south of Des Moines about this. But this one takes a little bit of setup. So do you want to keep an eye on students who have a large number of absences, disciplinary actions, or low grades? JMC makes it easy. JMC Office's admin dashboard allows users to set up early warnings for at-risk students. Those warnings can be emailed as alerts and even customized to meet the needs of different stakeholders in your school. To explore the early alert system, log into JMC Office and proceed to File Admin Dashboard. Click the Early Warning at-Risk Settings tab. Step 1, click the Add Row link here under Discipline Referrals, Absences, or Grades here. So you've got 3 different types of early warning at-risk settings that you can set up. When you come in first, you'll have to add a row under the one that you want. You'll select a color to be associated with this particular warning. You'll put a name here, we call that the level, and then you'll put a number in for the threshold. And I'll show this in the live look here as well, and then you'll click save. So you can add multiple rows in each category to create a list of alert levels. Use consistent colors throughout to make it easier to identify at-risk students. Then you'll place a check mark in the scheduled daily alert checkbox to schedule daily early warning emails to be sent when students change alert levels. Step 6, enter the date and time. The alerts will be sent out in the appropriate fields, or simply click the calendar icon. So the date here will be the first date those go out. And then from 4/14 onward at 9 o'clock, an email alert will be sent out. I get one of these sent to me every day for my training database. And you can put multiple emails in here in the email too as well. You can separate them right here. This is a helpful tip to separate them by a comma. If you want to have a guidance counselor or at-risk coordinator receive the email warnings, you can enter their email address as well. This one is for the whole building, right? This is not for each user, just so folks know. And then click the save button there. So let's take a live look at those automated alerts that are listed here. So here's the early at-risk settings. And you can just play around with this, because the only thing that's going to happen, even if you made a quote unquote mistake, and you really can't, is that it's going to send an email at 9 o'clock to the person on this list right here. So if I have here, hey, every day it's going to email at 9 o'clock all the kids' names who have 3 discipline referrals, and their name is going to be in yellow. I can add another row and say, hey, I want to put in here, we're going to make it to be orange. And this is going to be 6 referrals. And we're going to put 6 in there. Did I spell that wrong? I don't think I did. Or did I? Is there 1 F or 2 Fs? There's one F, 2 Rs. I made that mistake. That's correct. There we go. I'll save that. Okay. And now when that email goes out at 9 o'clock, any kid who has 3 discipline referrals, okay, it'll show up with their name in yellow. If I have 6 discipline referrals, it'll show up in orange. What's the beauty of this? You don't even have to go and run a report in JMC. We will email a report with all these different criterias. One will be for discipline, one will be for absences, and one will be for grades, DNFs, for you to be able to use that. Put the emails in there and then start to send them out. You don't even need to go to JMC. Your administrator, your principal, superintendent, they'll get that email every single day. So it's a really handy way to be able to set up and use those items. So if you have any questions, now is a great time to ask those questions there. But this to me is one of the most underutilized portions of JMC, because we want to make sure that, this again, the common thing we hear, people say, tell me, These two things aren't necessarily even related. They say, I love JMC. And the reason they say they love or like JMC is it saves them time. But people still don't have enough time in their day. So this is a great way to get the information to the people that need it without them having to do anything in JMC. And so I strongly encourage that. So any questions there, Jake?
Yes, had one, is one email sent out for each category or one email with all listed?
I believe it's one email for all listed. I'm almost certain of that because I receive one email a day with the items that are listed there. Yep. But it's on, these are not connected. That's what I was kind of saying before. Anybody that meets this discipline referral will show up on the report. Anybody that meets the absence referral will show up on the report. Anybody that meets the grade referral will show up on the report. Great question.
And I'm not sure who all the roles of the folks that are participating in this, but if you know of a principal or an at-risk coordinator or a curriculum director or somebody that might make use of the admin dashboard, maybe casually mention or throw this recording into their inbox and let them know that this thing exists, because I love the admin dashboard. I think it's a huge time saver. So I'm just going to reiterate what Paul just said.
Yeah, it's another collaborative tool, right? It keeps everybody on the team informed with very little work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, so JMC news and upcoming events. Here we go. Let's take it home and then we're done here, folks. JMC's annual summer conference are back in person this year. You get to see Jake Vanscoy, Paul Freed, and the crew. Registration opens May 2nd. Stay tuned for more information on this year's Can't Be Missed event. Throughout the day, we'll be sharing time-saving tips and tricks and taking a peek at upcoming innovations for 2023, including JMC's brand new look. That's right, folks. We're going to talk about the rollout, training opportunities, and more questions. You can email our training team for details. And it's back now through the end of April 2022. We're offering schools a discount to refer their friends. For every school you refer to JMC that signs up for our software, we'll give you each a $500 scholarship for your district. Questions? Email our sales team for more details. Also, we're looking for 4 more passionate part-time client service specialists in Nebraska, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. As a client services specialist, you'll develop meaningful relationships with our users through communication, train, support. In return, we offer competitive salary and opportunity to work remotely. It's just a great way to stay connected to education. Very part-time job. It's a fun job. You get to support JMC users, visit other non-JMC schools around you, and kind of spread the JMC love. You can read the full job posting there or email hr@jmcinc.com. with job application in the subject line. Another great way to stay up to date in all things JMC is through our social media presence. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, at Online JMC, our blog, jmcinc.com/news for all things about the Paul Freed Fan Club. Jake, thanks for your time. I appreciate you joining me. I think we got another one of these on Thursday. Is that right, Jake?
Absolutely. Thursday morning, 10 o'clock.
And then after the last one we do, we're going to take one of them and post them to YouTube probably early next week so you can share that with your team. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your time today. And thanks for choosing JMC.